Hello, beautiful beings, love and laughter. Tanya Rainbow Horse here. This video is for you beautiful beings on your spiritual awakening path, doing the work, and you found that you have a getting what you want limiting belief. Going a little deeper with that, goes back to your childhood. Like a lot of us, probably older siblings or younger siblings especially could have this cycle or this limiting belief or trait in their energy field. I was an older sibling and I was an only child for 4 years. And so that 4 years, I do believe I was probably pretty spoiled. I recall my family tells me, and I recall that I had aunts staying with us at the time, and my grandparents came over a lot, and my mom and my dad, and everybody, really gave me a lot of attention those first 4 years, and I was doing a lot of fun things. I was probably kind of spoiled. And then when my brother came along, I think that's really where the pattern showed up, because when the attention wasn't on me so heavily like it had been the first 4 years, that's when getting what I want became a thing, because it was like an attention-seeking thing. It was like a validation. And now I've experienced it coming up now for myself. And I have to laugh. I like to laugh at when the inner child comes up. Because you think, oh, I'm a 40-year-old person, and I'm adult. The inner child doesn't care. When it boils down to it, we're just, oversized kids, really. So, the pattern came up for me. A pattern came up for me with me not getting what I want was a certain situation. And I was observing myself, and I was witnessing it, and I was like, okay. But I didn't know it was me not getting getting what I wanted in this situation. So I just kind of observed it, and I was like, okay, well, there's some healing for me here. I'm just going to see how it plays out with this person. Meanwhile, I'm getting my child ready for bed. And she didn't get what she wanted, and so it threw off the whole vibe of our nightly ritual, and she just she didn't want to cooperate. And so I saw that it was from this one thing of me saying no that just spiraled it all. And when it boiled down to it, is she didn't get what she wanted, so she hadn't processed that. And so she's just going to be, a pill. And, I came to her near the end, and I was just like, I give up. I don't want to fight. You come get me when you're ready to do this. I don't want to do this. And then we started talking about it, and I was like, I understand where the energy change for you is when I said no to this and you didn't get what you wanted. And she's like, yeah, that's right. But then in the middle of it, while I was telling her that, I was like, I'm having an experience like this, the exact same kind of similar experience with somebody else. And then I was like, obviously my child has the cycle, so I have to too, because I taught her. And so I was like, okay, so in order for her to heal and me to heal, like, how am I gonna navigate through this, It's like, and what boiled up to the surface around this limiting belief was, if I don't get what I want, I'm not good enough. So when I told my daughter no about this thing, she felt not good enough, and so she didn't feel good, and so she was acting out. And I hadn't quite got to that level because I was still witnessing my emotions from my own situation. But once I got to see her in her rawness with her emotions and experiences through it, I was like, that's what I'm doing. And so to navigate the situation, I could handle it a lot better. I knew what to do from witnessing her patterning for myself. And I was like, okay, here we go. You know, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm wanting a reaction from this situation. I want what I want and I'm not getting it. So I'm not feeling good enough. And then I told myself, so I was like, hey, Tanya, what if you can just be loved anyway? And I was kind of sat with that, and I just kind of poured in the love on myself, and I was just like, you were worthy regardless of what anybody else says or does. Can we just sit in that place? And then a bunch of gratitude washed over me, and I just felt really liberated and loved, and it was like a first little big win in the self-love category for myself, from taking my power back from a situation that I thought somebody else had control over. But when it boiled down to it, it was me who got to take my power back and out of that situation and give myself what I needed regardless. And so I just let the situation go, and I didn't worry about it after that. But getting what you want, I think that shows up a lot for some people. We'll take it as we're not good enough, or it's a knock on our self-worth. How else does that? Yeah, self-worth, not being good enough. If we don't get what we want, that it feels like maybe we did something wrong. But when it comes to not getting what you want, I've experienced it feels like, oh, why would have that shown up? Well, let me form this here. It's like validation. If somebody gives me what I want and they see me, they give me what I want, then I'm seen and that I'm worthy. So that power has been given away, and now I get to take it back. And in a situation where I don't get what I want, I will be able to move through it with more grace and ease next time. I will be able to witness my inner child coming up and not getting what she wants, and she doesn't need to throw a fit like my daughter kind of did. And I mean, there has been times when I have thrown an adult tantrum from not getting what I want, but I did not recognize it. And now I do. And I'm like, oh, all right. Just throwing an adult tantrum. It just makes me laugh even more with the inner child stuff, how those patterns come up and they just look exactly the same, just on a bigger adult scale. And I mean, you see that out in the world all the time, you know, in stores when you know, people feel like they've been let down or they've been treated unfairly, like in stores or out in public, you know, they'll throw a scene, and that's an adult throwing a fit. You know, sometimes they're, you know, the situation deems some, you know, some correction for them, so they need to, you know, get some help. But a lot of times, sometimes we're just triggered, having a bad day, and then it spirals out into a big tantrum that really, you know, could have been avoided, you know. But it's just part of the work, you know. I'm just tapping in here and seeing if I have any more messages for you to go with this. Well, I guess now's the time I'll say, if you got any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down below. We can open up the conversation. If you feel called to like or subscribe, I'd appreciate it. If not, no big deal. Maybe share a little tidbit about your inner child, and if you have limiting beliefs around not getting what you want. I think that's it. Yeah, just go with the flow here. All right, beautiful beings, I really appreciate you showing up to receive the message. Tanya Rainbow Horse here. Until the next video, lots of love and laughter. Bye.